Let's talk a little bit about Drew Lock because that's such a weird topic right now for me. Drew Lock has been a guy that you look at what he did in this game, and overall, 21 of 49, 227 yards, and an interception. And it's a very costly interception potentially at that point too, just based on how the way the game ended. But you look at that and you go, okay, 227 yards, not a bad yardage, really low average there. No touchdowns. But in the fourth quarter, something changed in him, guys. And it doesn't make up for the 3 quarters of bad play. Do not get me wrong on that. It does not make up for the 3 quarters of bad play. But something kind of switched on him, and all of a sudden he changed up. He threw the ball around. You got, Daniel Bellinger involved for the offense, but it feels like the first time he was the second leading receiver with 45 yards. Made some nice chucks over to Malik Nabers, who had 5 catches, 79 yards. And it just seemed like he was just getting comfortable within the pocket that wasn't there, basically, because to be honest, the offensive line was a cluster the whole entire day. Weren't good to begin with, and then you had JMS go out with an injury. You had John Runyan go out with an injury. So you let out Arian Stinney in there at the guard position, and you had Jay Kubas at the guard position, and they moved Greg Van Roden into center. So not ideal to say the least. But even before that, the offensive line was not doing any favors whatsoever to Drew Lock. But he also didn't do any favors to himself there. The play that everybody's going to talk about, I think, today, when it boils down to how Drew Lock played, is he had the chance to run for a first down. And instead of running straight ahead, he decided to pull a Saquon, basically, go off to the right. And instead of taking the glaring hole that was there, try to go be cute about it and take some extra yards. And he got knocked without getting the first down. And Brian Dable was livid, folks. Absolutely goddamn livid. It's just like you look at the confrontation afterwards with Dable and him, and it tells me a lot about what's going on with this team overall. Brian Dable goes up there to talk to him. He just walks right off. An absolute sign of disrespect. Now, I get at the time he was probably pissed at himself. Tempers were probably pretty high. He might have gone up to apologize to him afterwards. I don't know. I wasn't there. But what I saw was a quarterback that didn't respect his coach enough to stop and talk to him about making a mistake. That's an issue. And again, I've given you guys a lot of indictments on Brian Dable in this episode so far. And that's another one. When your players don't respect you enough to sit down and talk to you about a play, or stand there and take the yelling at that they rightfully deserve for making a really boneheaded play, that means they don't respect you. If they don't respect you, you're not the coach any longer. You're the guy pretending to be the coach. Because they're not listening to what you tell them. And that's the biggest issue that I saw in this whole entire game right there. That one play tells us all we need to know about what's going on behind closed doors with the Giants right there. But like I said, overall in the day for Drew Lock, not the worst game because of how it ended, but it was the worst beginning. I think he started 0-7 on the game overall. It's really, really bad start. And even if it wasn't for that 0-7, though, he'd start 50%. That's where he would be. 50% completions without that 0-7. So I can't give him a good game in this. But I'll give him a gutsy game on this. The way he came back in the fourth quarter, set the team up to tie it up in the end. Granted, through the interception late, which didn't help, but, mistakes will happen, especially when you're being aggressive because it's towards the end of the game. He still got him in position to tie it up and go into overtime. Unfortunately, we just couldn't block and the field goal got blocked as a result. So, like I said, it's kind of like an incomplete grade I'll give to, Drew Lock in this game here, because it's hard to fully judge him because of the way the line played, but it's also impossible to give him a pass for the way he played, even with that line. So, like I said, give him an incomplete grade in the game.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.